Hi guys, very important interview question of Spring Boot. What happens if we start the Spring Boot applications? So there are a bunch of things that happens in the backside which we doesn't know. So these are the steps that I wanted to show you all. The first and foremost thing is JVM starts and main method is executed. So as soon as you start it, your server, then what will happen? As soon as you start your Spring Boot application, JVM starts and main method is called, okay, and then it will search for Spring application dot run method. Okay, so there will be run method in the main method. So as you all know, JVM starts from main method, right? So it will search for run method present within that main method, and then after that Spring Boot detects Spring Boot application annotation on that particular class, which will include three major annotation like Spring Boot configuration, enable auto configuration, and component scan. I know you know what are these means, okay? Then it will create a Spring application object, which will set up your application context, which will set up your environment or properties, and then it will register all your listeners and initializers. And then application context is getting created as soon as main method starts. Okay, then environment is prepared, like your YAML file, your properties file, those all files will be prepared based upon what all arguments you are passing. Okay, so if you are knowing in public static void main, you are passing some arguments, right? So that arguments also can be passed through command line runner as well. Okay, so there are two ways to pass the arguments. So if you are implementing command line runner, you can override the run method, and from there you can start executing. Basically that is a non-static method. Okay, then beans are scanned and registered via @component scan, and it will automatically Spring container will check, and it will search for all those beans which are registered with @components. Okay, that means Spring will be injecting them at runtime. Okay, and auto configured beans are also registered like data source and web server. Then application context is refreshed with all beans are getting created, and dependencies are auto wired, and then all bean lifecycle methods are called. Then embedded web server, that is Tomcat, is started. In case you don't want to use Tomcat, you can put it in exclusion and you can include Jetty or any other server which you want. Then command line runner, application runner beans, if there are any, they will get executed. So maybe there is a requirement to add command line runner, so those run method, overridden run method will get called, and then at last application is now fully started and will ready to serve your API request. So this is the flow, guys. I hope you got the flow, and tell this in the interview and you will be nailing it, believe me. Okay, so see you in the next video.